welcome back to my channel. My name is Vicki, and this is where I like to talk about all the things I love: my knitting, spinning, sewing, and roses. If you follow me on Instagram, and I'm Heartland Knits over there too, please do come and follow me. But if you already do, you know that I love roses. I have currently 85 different varieties. This year I wanted to try something new, and I tried my hand at propagating roses, taking cuttings from them to produce more of that particular variety. I did this for a couple reasons. I had never tried it and it seemed like a new challenge. You always like to learn something new. And there is a particular rose that I always worry about losing over the winter. It's a David Austin rose called Evelyn. It's my oldest rose. It's about 20 years old, and it's grafted. Grafted roses only have, well, I've read where their lifespan is like from 20 to 30 years. Where I live, we have really harsh winters. Sometimes we get really, really cold temperatures, 20 below zero Fahrenheit without any snow cover, and then that could be really detrimental to the roses. I always worry the most about losing Evelyn because she's getting hard to find. She's one of the older ones. She's very, very popular, but there are persistent rumors that David Austin is going to discontinue it, drop it out of the catalog. And it's really popular. It's a beautiful kind of pinky peachy color, and it is one Austin rose that holds in the vase, lasts in a vase for a decent amount of time. Because she's so hard to find and I have a plant, I thought I need to see if I can propagate her so that I sort of have a backup plants in case. And then I'm not, I'm never going to like sell things, sell these or anything, but maybe give them away to friends or plant them in another place in the backyard. So there are many different methods to take cuttings and propagate them. I followed the directions from Connie of Hartwood Roses. I will put a link to her blog page where she goes over it. It seemed a good starting place. I thought I will try this method, and if it doesn't work, then next year I will try something else. So far, it has worked fairly well. The method basically is you take a cutting from a stem of a flower where the flower has just gone over and died. The cuttings go into the container, which is a cut-off quart milk container. You use a transparent one because then you can see when roots start to form. They kind of gravitate towards the edges and you can see them so that you know it's rooting. And then over the top you put a cut off soda bottle, and then they form sort of their own little greenhouse. And those are in there for about, well, it varied for me, a couple months, like a month, 6 weeks, 2 months. One from my very first batch of cuttings still doesn't look like it's rooted. Really not sure what's going on. Evelyn was my very first one that showed roots, and I was so happy that she did. And then I sort of butchered the job of getting her out. The roots are really, really very fragile. I'm used to working with plants and all, but these were really, really fragile. And 2 out of the 3 cuttings struck, but because so many of the roots ripped off when I was taking them out, I really wasn't sure if I was going to get it to grow. I planted them both up. One just had this tiny little root, and they have started to grow. They've pushed out new growth, even the one with just that one tiny little root. So I'm super happy about that. It looks like I'm going to have at least a couple. Well, hopefully at least one will survive the winter. And then Mary Rose was the next one that showed signs of rooting. This time I knew better how to handle things, and again 2 out of the 3 of the cuttings struck, and but they had nice long roots and they are just growing. They didn't have any top growth at all when I planted them and quickly pushed them out. I'm not so concerned that they have a lot of top growth. They need some just, to grow, because I really want them to concentrate on growing their roots. So I still have a few more that are waiting to get separated out. Hopefully there will be some additional ones. Now the big challenge will be how to get them through the winter. So if I have more than one plant of each variety, I figure I can try some outside and then some in the garage. I have an unheated garage, and that's where my container roses have overwintered successfully the last few years. I'm lucky. I don't know if it's lucky, but I live where it gets very, very cold in the winter. But even when we have the scariest cold temperatures of way below zero, even, daytime temperatures below 0 Fahrenheit, my garage has stayed above 10 degrees. So the plants stay dormant. Even like places that are technically a zone 5, which is what I am, say like Nebraska or someplace, they might get those cold temperatures, but not for a long time. So if you try to overwinter something in like a garage, it might not get cold enough to keep the rose dormant, and because that's what you want to do, is just keep them dormant through the winter. This year I started sort of on the tail end of the first flush, and next year I know to those very first roses that come, those are the ones to take cuttings of, because then they'll have a longer space to grow before winter arrives. So I hope you found that a little bit interesting. Roses to me are one of the best parts of spring and summer, and hopefully there will be still some flowers to come. We had some really odd weather over this summer, and they have grown bigger and taller than they've ever been before. I mean, there's one that's 8 feet tall and it's not a climbing rose, but we just had masses of rain in kind of mid to late July, and it's like they took off. So there will probably still be some more photos of roses on my Instagram. Do come and check me out, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you next time, bye.